Good evening, Crimson Tide Nation, and welcome to the 56th edition of the Alabama Crimson Tide Live call-in show from yours truly, Jackson Johnson. My co-host Jeffrey from Money Talk Sports should be here in a little bit. I think he's dealing with some traffic, dealing with a lot of cold weather over in North Carolina. But I can tell you right now, you're going to be in for a wild ride as we take your calls per usual Thursday nights, especially on the night before Halloween night on Alabama at the Voice of College Football. And let me tell you something, folks, you're going to be in for a wild ride. And we're going to take you for another wild ride as we've got merch all over the place. It may not be having spooky, scary skeletons, but that's okay. We've got the next best thing. We've got it. We've got it all right here. We've got the merch. We've got the hats, the shirts, the polo shirt, the game day mug, the tumbler cup, the can cooler. We've got it all. We've got it all right here on Alabama at the Voice of College Football. And let me tell you something, you're not going to want to miss it. And before we get to our first caller of the night, oh, there he is. There's the man. There he is. There's our co-host. Oh, man. Good to see you, Jeffrey.
Hey, Jackson. How's it going?
It's going all right. We were waiting for you, man.
Sorry about that. A little late, but
Traffic.
here now, and we're the 56th edition of the call-in show. Definitely excited to talk about whatever we talk about tonight. It's always dictated by the chat, and we appreciate you guys so much, the callers that call in. So, man, Godfather of the SEC would definitely be praying for you, man.
Agreed. And we $4.99 super chat from our good buddy Godfather of the SEC, saying that he's going to be out for a few days. He's out sick for a few days, gallbladder surgery. Roll Tide roll, and a Roll Tide roll to the Godfather of the SEC.
Roll Tide roll, Godfather. Roll Tide roll.
There we go.
Praying for you.
And, this is perfect time to remind you that even if you can't be able to put in a super chat for Alabama with the Voice of College Football or put in a super sticker, no worries. That's okay. That's why you like, comment, subscribe, and click on the notification bell to Alabama with the Voice of College Football so you never miss no video whatsoever. And we are dedicating tonight's show to our good buddy, the Godfather SEC. And we've also got some exciting news for you later tonight as well. And we've got our first caller of the night, Alabama Richie. How are you doing tonight, good buddy?
Oh, I'm doing really well, everybody. Doing well. Great to see you, Jeffrey. I know you missed out on the wrap up show on Saturday, but that's understandable. Things got in the way, but it's important. Glad to see you tonight. Hope you guys are doing good.
Oh, we're doing all right.
Appreciate it, Alabama Richie. Yeah, it's so tough to fit in time for stuff, man. I love to go on tons of shows. I mean, because you do great work. Lucas Hill with the SEC show, just fantastic stuff. Yeah, there was tons of great shows out there. A lot. I want to call in to Mark. Mark's shows are awesome on Saturday night. They're always popping with tons of people there. It's always a great time. But man, it's just fitting timing's hard sometimes.
It sure is. I can't argue with that. They've got me wanting to get on all these different shows, and shout out to Lucas too. Been trying to get him to follow me back on X, but he's a busy guy, so I don't blame him. But he does amazing stuff. So shout out to the guy Lucas for sure.
Man. He makes magic all over the place at South Carolina and SEC at the Voice of College Football.
Absolutely big supporter of what Lucas does for sure. Been following. He's joined us at Wager Wire a couple times, and the crew knows him. So excited to see him. It was really funny because I told Jackson on the wrap-up show, Jeffrey, that Bama's had 2 weeks of struggling to run the ball, and the dude said to me tonight, this guy goes, "Well, it doesn't seem like Bama has to run the ball because that's the kind of offense that the Boer runs with Grubb." I said, "I beg to differ, my guy." Said the Boer's not in the Pac-12 anymore. He's in the SEC. The defense is there. You don't run the football, you're going to get this. You're going to get figured out. It can't be on the shoulders of Ty Simpson. The Boer compared to where he was at Washington, you were squeaking by and getting by because they never played a lick of defense. So just curious to see what you thought. And then I knew you'd love this one. Matt Rule got that extension. What do you think about that?
I'll let you go first, Jackson.
It's a win for everybody, really. I mean, Penn State's pretty happy with it. Nebraska's definitely happy with it, but I think it's basically a win for everybody, really.
Well, I mean, that's why I wanted you to go first, get your reasonable take out of the way before I get to mine. My take is that Nebraska did not make as good of a decision as Indiana did, because Indiana's guy that they gave an extension to is a top 3 coach in college football. I don't think Matt Rule is that good. Now, that being said, jokes aside, Matt Rule is not a bad coach. Matt Rule is a good coach, and it is good for Nebraska that they kept him. The problem is that with the extension and now how much they're paying him and all that to keep him, there's a really good chance that the results do not ever become what they want. And then you've got yet another fired coach in a couple years that has a massive contract. So, obviously there's a really good chance that Matt Rule does end up succeeding long-term in Nebraska too, and that's great, but there is a chance that he doesn't. Penn State, yet again, screwed up firing James Franklin when they did, because their top 2 candidates, Kurt Cignetti and Matt Rule, especially Cignetti, were not obtainable. Matt Rule, I think they had a chance, but they fumbled the bag. So now they're screwed. And the only chance that they're going to have to hire a good coach is they take a flyer on somebody that we don't expect, and it works. Because the remaining names out there, that the people that just got fired, yeah. Oh, Brian Kelly to Penn State, yeah, haha, that's great. No. So they're screwed. I think they messed up. The only way that it works out for them, again, is if they take a flyer on somebody that just pans. It maybe not. But yeah, I mean, Nebraska, it's not a bad move, but I mean, Matt Rule really hasn't delivered all that much to be worthy of an extension outside, hey, we want to keep him because Penn State wants him. Indiana, I mean, Paul Feinbaum said Indiana made a mistake giving Cignetti an extension. It's like, dude, what more could Cignetti do to make you believe that he's not a bad coach, man? Like, the guy literally is 19-2 at the losingest school in the Power 4 history. Like, he's done incredible work. Matt Rule, his record's not even good right now. Like, it's not even that good. It's just the fact that Nebraska is getting better. And plus, Nebraska doesn't want to lose the guy that they sought after to Penn State. So, like, hey, we have to give an extension. Indiana giving, again, Cignetti an extension was deserved. I don't think Matt Rule necessarily deserved an extension. He just got one because of the circumstances. That's the difference.
I agree. I think the back was against the wall for Nebraska, because I brought it up last week or the week before how funny it was that Nebraska lost to Minnesota. And I said to folks, and you would take Matt Rule to Penn State because, and then Penn State's probably going now after the extension, well, we failed again. And it's like, here's my biggest thing. It's like, Matt Rule may not be the winner, but he's surely done a lot better than what they got out of Scott Frost. I mean, that was a complete disaster. So I think they're thinking, shoot, if we don't wrap this guy up, we'll be out another coach and we'll be in the same shoe we were with firing Scott Frost. The guy walked away because he got offered by his alma mater a bag. But again, and I told Jackson before you hopped on, what's funny is every time Matt Rule, his team has been ranked, they lose the following week. I think it's funny, but we'll see what happens. We really will. I just thought, and my other question to you was the writing on the wall for Brian Kelly? I know it's another SEC, and we play them this coming up weekend, not this weekend Saturday, but in a weekend from now. Was the writing on the wall for Brian Kelly? I know you shared your thoughts a bit, Jackson, but if you have anything else to add, just be curious, previewing the LSU matchup and your thoughts from South Carolina.
Honestly, I think Brian Kelly made his bed with the way LSU was performing throughout the season. And I think, it's a mess. That whole situation is a mess. Like, I get it. Brian Kelly needed to be fired, but I'm not so sure that flaming your AD and not having a school president is going to help you. Like, you don't have a school president, you don't have an athletic director or a head coach right now. I just feel like LSU is in a really ugly situation, but I will say that's good for us. That's the way I look at it.
Well,
And-
it is great for us, Jackson. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
we're leagues better than LSU, or the league's better than Clemson. You know, Dabo to Alabama a couple years ago. You know, the thing is with LSU, man, is that they hired Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
Okay,
did it for
they
themselves.
hired Brian Kelly. Everybody knew who Brian Kelly was at Notre Dame.
Mhm.
Notre Dame fans wanted him gone, including our good friend Will and D. So what are we doing? You know, and plus culture is a big thing in LSU. That is a, you talk about the South, or you know, the different parts of the West, the East, the North, whatever, culture and all that. LSU is Louisiana is a very distinct culture. Ed O fit the culture.
Mhm.
No doubt about it. Fit the culture. But, yeah, he didn't win a championship anymore after winning a championship and all that, so let's get rid of him. So then they hire Brian Kelly, which is literally the antithesis of Ed O. And, yeah, he does the whole fake accent thing that completely just derailed his entire coaching stint to begin with. But, I mean, they gave him a big contract to lure him from Notre Dame. They signed him on, knowing the type person that he was. And then all people have done is just talk crap about him, including us, for good reason. But it's like, you hired him. That's on you. But it's like, now let's just fire the guy after we hired the guy. You know, I mean, you've got the governor involved. You know, like, it's not even like we're not even bringing up politics here. That's just facts. You've got the freaking governor involved with the team. Like, what is wrong with that university right now?
I mean, a governor
There is
really.
something inherently wrong with LSU. It makes Auburn look good.
Yeah.
It makes Auburn look good. I'm actually concerned with Louisiana State University right now. I don't understand that place. Because you hired Brian Kelly, you fired him, and now you've just got this gigantic kerfluffle going on with people that don't even need to be involved in the coaching decision search, all for them to probably get someone like John Sumrall. Now, that's not to say that they're going to get John Sumrall, but I'm just saying, like, to me, LSU is just dumb right now.
If you screw up John Sumrall, your university is basically unfixable at that point.
I don't disagree with him firing Brian Kelly. I don't, because, yeah, it's not that he just lost. He was getting destroyed, and they were getting blown out. But, again, why did they hire him in the first place is what I'm confused.
Yeah.
Like, the mindset was, well, Notre Dame has limitations, and he was close. So, yeah, but at the same time, again, I think that it takes a certain individual to succeed at LSU, though. You know, Nick Saban might have been from West Virginia, but that culturally aligns a little bit better than Brian Kelly. Oh. And I know people are saying, well, the culture don't matter as long as you win, and that's technically true. But at the same time, I think that LSU is a little bit deeper than that. Just a hair. You've got to at least fit in with those people. Because they all hate the dude. Brian Kelly, I don't know the dude. I mean, people say he's a piece of crap, terrible human being, terrible attitude, behavior, all that. I don't freaking know. I don't know the guy. But, I mean, the way that those people talk about him, they talk about him like he's just the biggest scumbag on the earth, kind of like they were saying about James Franklin, but to a lesser extent. But I'm just like, again, you had to have known that when you hired the guy. So I don't really feel bad for LSU. Better get the next hire right. That's all I gotta say. Because
I mean,
you know, like they fired
like a governor of a
coaches recently in Edo before. Right. They've done it with coaches in the past. Brian Kelly's more understandable. Their next hire, they need to get it right, and they don't need to be doing the cycle of Auburn where every few years they fire their coach, because you're not going to get anywhere with
Oh,
that.
they're going to. Like, I mean, we're seeing stuff like that. This just screams 2017 Tennessee coaching search all over again, but in
It's not a
Baton
good
Rouge.
look. It just looks terrible.
Oh yeah, I mean because it was like it's just not going. I just don't see a good coach wanting to coach there. I feel like they're gonna get some retread coach coming over to LSU. I think that's what's gonna happen. I mean, I don't feel sorry for that university. I mean, if you got the governor getting involved, you're done for usually. I mean, like
Well,
the
it cracks
governor.
me up too, Jackson, because Ron DeSantis was tweeting on X, the hilariousness of that statement. He was posting on X saying that basically Signetti to Florida. So again, we're at the point now where college football is so big, and Kurt Signetti's that important, that they're getting talked about on a regular basis by governors of southeastern states. That's how desperate these people are to have their university not suck at football anymore, which is commendable. I mean, at least it shows that you care.
Yeah.
But again, a governor, a football team, I don't know, man. Like, the university, they need to fix their problems, and the other people need to fix the problems going on in that realm. It's too, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying church and state type of thing, but it's kind of separate, man. But it gets intertwined. Like, I just don't know if intertwining that kind of crap works. I don't think it does necessarily. Like leave the coaching decision. That the thing is, the fact that they're this adamant about it shows you that these universities rather are inept at hiring coaches. They're inept.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, Jackson, the more that these programs keep screwing around, it makes nobody legitimately good want to go to those schools.
Oh yeah.
It gives a bad stain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it bothered me when I went. See, here's the thing. I told folks before he was even hired, it was going to be a mistake, and you're going to be firing the guy in a few years. No one believed me. I sat back and said, "Watch. I won't say a word, and then he'll be fired, and I'll be like, there you go, there you go." So this is the one time that playing LSU doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. Normally, LSU's fired up. They're actually pretty darn good. It's a game. It's entertaining. This is the one time that I'm not actually scared for LSU to come to Bryant-Denny, because you fire your head coach, your back's against the wall, you have nothing to lose. Your season's not going anywhere. Brian Kelly fakes an accent. He's a horrible. But see, here's the thing. My question is, where was everybody before he got fired? Where was everybody that chirped when he was fired about how bad he was? You weren't chirping when he was winning games. And you weren't chirping when he was winning games. You were like, oh, he's doing fine. He's doing a fine job. I was like, yeah, watch when he loses. And it's really funny because the writing was on the wall. They had the lead at halftime against A&M, and he choked the lead. And they were chanting, fire Kelly. I said the second they started chanting, fire Kelly, the next day, and he argued with the AD. He told the AD, you're not going to tell me who to fire. He goes, oh, I think I'm your boss. I can tell you whatever I want. And he argued that guy, and next thing you know, he's locked out of the facility. I mean, that's all you need to know. And for LSU fans, I hope you get somebody that wants to be there, because you're exactly right, Jeffrey. They fired Coach O. What was Coach O really so bad at? He couldn't buy them in practices with the whole thing with the girlfriend and all that, bringing the kids to practice or something? Okay. All right, I guarantee if you gave Orgeron a look again, he wouldn't do that same dumb decision. He wouldn't. In fact, I'm probably delusional for saying this. I'd take Orgeron back because he fit the culture. He knows what he's there. He gives them what he's looking for. I mean, Summerall, they chirp Kiffin really bad, but I wouldn't leave Oxford. I surely wouldn't. And the SEC right now, the way he's rolling, they'd be in trouble.
Thank you, Alabama Reggie. Thank you so much for saying that Lane Kiffin should not leave Ole Miss. I have so many people go off on me, and it's okay. It's their opinion. Everybody's an opinion. My opinion could be wrong. Again, I admit that.
Fine too.
I'm wrong all the time. Lagway #1 at quarterback. Preseason. Terrible. Terrible pick on my part. Everyone makes mistakes. But I've had so many people telling me, Jeffrey, Lane Kiffin, he has to go to LSU. He's got to go to LSU. It's all about that championship. And I'm like, yeah, the last couple coaches that won a national championship at LSU, they got fired less than 2 years later. So, yeah, I don't think it's worth it, man. Yeah, you get a bunch of money when you get fired, but it ruins your legacy, man. Lane Kiffin had his entire coaching career destroyed after the tarmac. I don't think you want that again. I just don't. Like, he got his career resurrected by Saban.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes to Florida Atlantic, and then he goes to Ole Miss, and he does a less impressive than Cignetti because, again, what Cignetti has done. And now the next Cignetti's coming around. Oh, who's going to be the next Cignetti? No one. Stop saying it.
No.
So you've got Lane Kiffin turning around a program that was pretty trash for the vast majority of their existence. And Ole Miss is consistently top 10 to 12. And people are telling me that Ole Miss is so far away from LSU in money. Yeah, there's a gap, but it's not this. It's more like this.
Yep.
Ole Miss has upped their game, man. It's a different era. If it wasn't a different era, then why did Cignetti not go to Penn State? If it's a different era, then why is Lane Kiffin still at Ole Miss? Lane Kiffin needs to stay at Ole Miss. I know people say that I have an underdog infatuation, but it's not that, man. It's the fact that if Lane Kiffin goes to LSU, he's going to get fired. And if he stays at Ole Miss, his odds of getting fired are a lot less.
No,
He's making a ton of money already. The fans are happy with him because he's turned a program that was pretty trash into one of the better programs in the SEC, and they're really not that far from having a national championship team. If they had not lost Judkins, they would have been in the playoffs last year.
Yep.
They lost 1-9.
If you're ending the conference title drought at Ole Miss, you'll have the hero worship. You'll get treated like royalty.
You go to LSU, you lose a game, he's already just done. You fired this dude. I mean, some of these programs that have these super high expectations need to pump the brakes until they actually win.
Yeah, lower them a little.
Indiana basketball, all they want is to make the tournament. That's it. People say Indiana basketball fans are living in the glory days, man. Dude, they just want to make the tournament. Nebraska fans right now are happy that they're bowl eligible. They've readjusted their expectations. It's good. And you got to work your way back up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, at least in LSU's defense, they didn't win a championship less than 6 years ago. But still, you got to readjust, man, when you're not doing good. You got to take baby steps. You can't just expect dude to come in and start winning. Like, again, the Cignetti effect has changed the way people think about programs. He just immediately turned around nothing. That doesn't always work. It doesn't always happen that way. You still got to give a guy some time, but now it's all about it has to be right now. They have to turn it around immediately. If not, let's fire this guy. Coaches are getting fired left and right, and these buyouts are ridiculous. What they need to do on some of these coaches, with the amount of firings that are happening, then the money that's guaranteed needs to be lowered on some of these massive contracts of $120 million. They don't need to be guaranteeing $90 million of it, okay? Because you're just throwing away money. It's really sad. I mean, it's great that these dudes get fired and they can live the rest of their life happy, but they could do that with $20 million. It doesn't have to be $90 million, man. It doesn't have to be 60, 70, 80, 50 million, whatever. They need to stop guaranteeing all that because all these teams in the SEC specifically, but Penn State and some of the bigger programs elsewhere, are firing coaches left and right, guaranteeing them all this money. It's like, well, just throw it away. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it does matter. I mean, that's money a lot of other people would be happy to have, man, that you're just throwing away to a guy that you don't think's worthy to coach anymore. It's just kind of sad. And really, that's the perspective people should have on that. But people only look at it, wow, these buyouts are so massive. That's insane. It's so cool that my school's throwing away tons of money away to get someone else. It's not actually cool, but that's just the way people look at it.
Yeah,
exactly. Not only that, but the Florida fans too, thinking they can bag Kiffin too, is a joke. It's like, why would you leave Ole Miss and expect it to be? You're going to be another one of the fired coaches. They fired Ron Zook. They fired Muschamp. They fired Dan Mullen or Jim McElwain, they fired Dan Mullen. You know what all 4 of those coaches did? Take away Ron Zook. You know what the 3 of them did? Got them where they needed to be. McElwain took them to 2 back-to-back SEC championships. Dan Mullen took them to a New York Six Bowl. I think Will Muschamp left them with a winning record, and yet they suck as head coaches. Now Billy Napier's fired, okay, and they're whispering Lane Kiffin. And what would that do, huh? You really think that you're going to have a better season or a better winning perspective with Kiffin at LSU or Florida? Like keep it real. It wouldn't shock me if Kiffin left. It wouldn't, because I'm shocked every day. But it definitely would be nice to know that they need to work a contract out with this guy. If they gave it to Cignetti, that was a step in the right direction. Indiana needed Cignetti, and Cignetti needed them. And as long as he keeps winning, they'll let him do what he wants in Indiana, straight up. They want someone like Cignetti. When Saban was at Bama after LSU, you know what he didn't stay at LSU? Because Bama gave him everything he was looking for after the first championship. Saban said, I want this, this, and this. And at the time, it was Mal Moore. Mal Moore looked at him and said, okay, that's a done deal. We'll give you what you want. We won a championship. Our drought has been horrible. Last time we won a championship was who? Gene Stallings? So, I mean, these coaches proved themselves. They get what they want. Kelly wasn't going to prove himself at LSU. Shane Beamer at South Carolina just lost to Bama. His leash is short. They'll fire Shula first, I feel like, and then they'll fire him, and they'll give Beamer the list of games you can't lose scenario, like they gave Jimbo Fisher at A&M. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, where the AD will go up to you and go, hey, I need you in for an interview, another conversation. Go, okay. So you just lost. Well, you're on thin ice. Here's 4 or 5 games you can't lose. Jimbo's was Ole Miss, Tennessee, Georgia, and I think it was Bama. He didn't win most of those games. They canned him. And then the excuse was, oh, we couldn't bag him at LSU. It's like, no, A&M offered you more money. Instead, you get this moron Brian Kelly that I told folks would never work. But what do I know? So previewing the backing the South Carolina in this week, I think we'll be fine this week against LSU. We'll be fine, and we'll go from there. And then we'll move on to Oklahoma. And last week, I think we didn't run the football. Someone tried to tell me today that we don't need to worry about running the ball. Yeah, we do. It's not going to be winning. You're not going to win games on the shoulders of Ty Simpson and expect to be successful against better defense. DeBoer's not playing the Pac-12 defense anymore. That's why the games were so high, because no one played any defense. No one did. Oregon now has to play in the Big Ten. They're realizing the competition level. It is what it is. But Ryan Grubb, I think, came through in the last half of the game, but most of the game was a bit funky on his side. You knew they were going to play tough. Lenore Sellers is a big physical quarterback. But, I mean, Bama found a way, but got to run that football moving forward. That's my only challenge to Bama, is run that ball. In fact, I'm going to tell this to you guys. If we fail to run the ball against LSU, I'm pulling out my run the damn ball hat. I'm pulling it out. I have to do it. But that's the only last take I had before I wrap it up. Appreciate you guys as always.
Appreciate
absolutely,
you,
Alabama Richie. I will say, to piggyback off the Napier, just for brief.
Sure.
One of the things that cracks me up the most about these coaching, firings and hirings is when a coach gets fired, the amount of people that will say, I knew from the beginning it was a bad hire. That not one Florida fan that I know of, I'm sure there was a few out there, but the vast majority of Florida fans, when Billy Napier was hired, were positive on it.
Yep.
They were positive on it. They were like, well, the dude's won a lot at Louisiana Lafayette, that they don't no longer call Louisiana Lafayette. It's just Louisiana for some reason now, but whatever. Again, he won a lot of games. Cool. No issues with the hire. And then now that he got fired, it's like, oh, he sucked, and I knew he sucked. At least with Brian Kelly, I can at least say that a lot of LSU fans didn't like it when it happened. I mean, a lot of them thought it was great, but because they were snowballed, but that's okay. Everyone gets snowballed sometimes. But there were people that were against it. But there was a very, very minute, just absolutely small amount of Florida fans that were against Billy Napier. Most were completely okay with it. And now it's a 380, 360, whatever. I think it's funny. I think that's what's the most hilarious part of these coaching, hirings and firings is how fans react to them and how quickly they turn their opinion of what they say. At least like if you're a Florida fan, be like, hey, I thought the Billy Napier hire was going to work and it did. Okay. Well, at least you're being honest. But you're like, oh, I never thought it was a good hire. Well, you should have said that then. I mean, I guess you didn't say it because you just are positive because you're hoping it works. I mean, obviously you're a fan of the team, but if you didn't think it was going to work, then be honest about it. Say, I think this hire sucks. Because, I mean, you've seen how certain teams, a.k.a. Greg Schiano, Tennessee, and other examples of how you talk back before a hire happens, it don't happen. So if Florida fans really didn't like Billy Napier, they should have let him know. I don't want Billy Napier. Don't let Billy Napier. Then they wouldn't hire Billy Napier. But they didn't do that. So Florida fans are wrong on that end. Vastly wrong.
And I'll leave it at this too. I can say this compared to Brian Kelly before I wrap it up. I had no idea on Brian Kelly. I've always heard he's a great guy. The interactions that my good friend who gave me my Saban signed football, who's a big Florida alum and donor, got a degree from there. He basically said it. He goes, I love the guy and I'm always going to respect Napier. I had no idea. I had no idea. But I knew Brian Kelly going forward was a mistake. I can stand on that. I didn't chirp throughout the time he was there because I know the kind of person he is off the field versus the coach in Kelly is a different story. But I can honestly say now that I said it from the jump and I stood on it. Kelly was never your answer. Napier, I had no idea. I just really will challenge Florida with the next coach not to do the dumb thing you did with the last 4 head coaches and fire them with the expectation of, and we're going to win a championship. It's like, you got to want it. I still believe that if Urban Meyer wouldn't have lied to the Florida fan base, he'd still be their head coach. I really do. If he didn't fake a heart trouble, I think he'd still be there. And you wouldn't have this conversation about Billy Napier or Dan Mullen or Jim McElwain or Zook or whoever they brought in, Will Musk or Champ. You wouldn't. But, hey, it is what it is. Hopefully Florida turns it around and hopefully the Tide stays rolling. So, we got 2 weeks, a week to prepare and another week to get ready for games until we play LSU. But thank you guys for having me so much. Prayers to you, Brother Godfather, if you're listening in. Means the world. Shout out to you, brother, for joining my TikTok shows. I'll see you guys next week. Y'all have a good night.
Appreciate it, Alabama Rich. You have a great night. Absolutely. Again, prayers for Godfather. Hope he is doing well for sure. And Alabama on a bye. Get better. It's always a week to get better. You never want to be idle and lagging on a bye week. So hopefully the Crimson Tide will be ready to roll to pound LSU next week.
Yes, sir. I'll
See you soon, Rich.
You have a great night out there, Rich.
And we've got our next caller waiting in the wings. He's been waiting a while. We got Hunter Ketchum on the line. How you doing tonight, good buddy?
Good, man. How you doing?
Doing good, Hunter. Appreciate it.
So let me start off by this. Let me ask you: do y'all feel like this Alabama team is getting a little disrespect in the rankings? I think we are just a little bit because I think we should be ranked higher because of all the ranked teams we beat. And like Josh Pate, as much as I respect him, he put it. I think we should be at least number 2 or 3. I think 4 is a little bit of disrespect because there's nobody in college football that's beat as many ranked teams as we have.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's absolutely fair. I think the problem, obviously, is the fact that we have 1 loss and the 3 teams ahead of us are undefeated. I mean, that's kind of hard to overcome. Obviously, we know if we played Florida State today, no doubt about it, we would beat them because Florida State stinks. But unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. I think 4 is absolutely fair. I mean, because we're higher ranked than every other team with one loss. So they are in the AP and the coach poll. So they're saying that, hey, this is the best one-loss team in the country. We're even ranked ahead of teams that are still undefeated. Obviously, teams like Georgia Tech, but still, I mean, I think that's good. I mean, obviously, A&M can drop a game somewhere. If they drop a game, we will pass them as long as we keep winning. Ohio State and Indiana, unless they lose to a vastly inferior team, which you never know, it's football, they're going to keep winning, and they will stay 1-2. There's just really nothing that can be done until they face each other in the Big Ten Championship game if both teams get there. But I don't think, like, I know what you're saying. Again, like Alabama, like when we're playing very well, we look like the best team in the country because of our talent, because of the program, prestige. Like, we got great players, and when they play up to that level, and in some of our wins, we've looked really darn good. But with that one loss, there's just not much we can do about it right now. Everything's going to shake itself out. If we keep winning and the team ahead of us loses, we'll pass them.
Right, right.
I would like to see Texas A&M in the SEC title game. That would be pretty fun to see.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I mean, I just think that, you can't take away that Florida State loss, but I think that should be taken in context. I mean, that was the first game of the year in a difficult environment. Now, then again, it is part of the regular season, so you do have to take into account. But who you are on week one is never who you are at this point in the season.
No.
Most teams. Some teams are just trash. But on another note, let's get to the South Carolina game. Um, wow, I did not think we were going to win that game. To be straight up with you, I thought we deserved to lose that game. But give our team credit. They did what it took to win, and Kalen DeVore and Grubb, put together, a fourth quarter that, um, you know, just what we needed, and so we did enough to win. And I mean, I've always said that South Carolina, I think, is one of the tougher places in college football to play, especially when they're decent like they are. They got a good home crowd. I mean, I think that's a top 10, you know, top 10 hardest places to play on a Saturday.
I mean, that's absolutely fair too. I mean, the entire SEC, pretty much, I mean, basically not Vanderbilt until now, but I mean that's still a much smaller stadium. But I mean, hey, when they're better now, it's decent crowd, solid. But the entire SEC on the road, if especially if the team is good, it's just brutal. I mean, A&M, LSU, Florida, Georgia, Bama, Auburn. I mean, Tennessee, all of them have great environments. I mean, they all do. It's like South Carolina, it holds a lot of people. It's a pretty big stadium, and they got that Gamecock that calls all game long, and it's not as crazy as the Cowbells, but still it's pretty crazy. And yeah, I mean, it's not none of the places are easy to play. I mean, it's more so if the team they're playing is good. South Carolina has good players. They do. But they are massively underutilizing Lenore Sellers this season. And if
Well,
they had have not collapsed, they would have beaten us. Like you said, I thought we were going to lose too. We probably should have lost, but the fumble by Sellers and their defense faded at the end. They played a pretty good game.
yeah, and the thing, as much grief as we given the defense all year long, I mean, they're continuing week in and week out, you know, doing enough to get us the win. And I know sometimes it can be frustrating, with some of the aspects of the defense, but I mean, I can't be too mad at it when, they're putting together performances to win. And, um, I think also from the South Carolina perspective, I think they do have two of the best defenders of the country. I mean, you got Dylan Stewart. He's going to be a first round draft pick. I mean, first round pick for sure. That other linebacker they got is really, really good too. Probably going to be a first round pick as well. Uh, so give South Carolina credit. Um, but we needed this week off because we need to get back and get healthy and get regroup and um, I think Kalen DeBoer does a really good job of getting the team together in the right mindset when they need it, and we're going to need it going into LSU regardless of who the head coach is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of them teams that um, we have a lot of history with, and it's a rivalry game, and we just got to be ready and in that mindset to you know not get complacent just because we've been winning doesn't mean that you get to automatically win the next time you play.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I think, when it comes to, any opponent in the SEC, you can't overlook them at this point. Yeah, a couple teams at the bottom, Kentucky, Arkansas, but I mean, still, you don't overlook any team. LSU still has great players. It's, like you said, rivalry game. No Brian Kelly. You don't know how a team's going to react. Obviously, we've seen some teams when their coach gets fired perform better. UAB fired Trent Dilfer, beat Memphis. UCLA was 0-4, looked like the worst team in the Power Four, and then they won 3 in a row before getting shellacked by Indiana. But before that, they looked a lot better. Penn State still sucks, but some teams do perform better. Virginia Tech's even looked better since firing Brent Pry. Underratedly, no one really cares, but they have actually looked better a little bit. So, LSU could look better without Brian Kelly. And if they do, yeah, we need to be, ready for that. But I feel like with Alabama, though, like especially with DeBoer, there's certain opponents we play better against. Obviously the result last year against LSU was insane. We destroyed them. Not saying we're going to do that this time, but I think that there are games that Alabama gets up for more than others. And I think that LSU definitely is a game like that over South Carolina, even though every game you should be equally ready for and wanting to destroy the other team. But I think that LSU, in my opinion, I think they'll be ready for that game. You agree with that, Jackson?
Yeah. We have to be ready for every game because if we're not, then we can get upset if we don't. But I mean, I don't think that's gonna happen against next Saturday. We're gonna do awesome against LSU next Saturday. But
Well, the good news is it's at home, and that's it's a big advantage, and we just um let me get y'all's opinion on this too. Maybe I'm just seeing things or imagining things, but I feel like in the last couple of weeks that Brian Grubb has kind of experimented and not done the things that we've been really good at. I think we've gotten away from doing some of the things that we did earlier in the season that we were proven to be effective. And um, like now we did do it one time in the game, but doing those jet sweeps with Bernard or Ryan Williams and doing those short post routes, uh, Germany and things like that. I think he's gotten away from that a little bit the last 2 weeks, and I don't know if it's him just trying to come up with new concepts that would to not be so predictable, or but I'm a believer you need to kind of do some variation of what's worked in the past, and I think maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just seeing things. Maybe I'm just being a little bit overcritical, but I do feel like we've gotten away from doing some of the things that have been effective, earlier in the season, like we kind of did in the Georgia game. I think I think that was his best call game of the year, as far as play calling. I thought Nick Grubb did a great job of, I meant Ryan Grubb, I'm sorry, of, of, of calling. I think that was his best play calling game of the year.
there we go.
I would agree with that. I mean, I feel like, you know, Alabama's kind of in. I don't even know what you want to say. Like, just they're trugging along. It's like a lawnmower, It's just going across the yard. Alabama's just trying to win, which
But I
is
did
not a
not.
bad thing. But I mean, it's just like they can open the playbook further on offense, absolutely, because the amount of talent that there is. But I mean, if you're winning without having to do that, then that's probably okay too. But
Yeah, I just didn't like the play calling against South Carolina. I don't think we. I thought we were trying to do, they're trying to do a little bit too much, and I think that we should use. I understand why they don't want to do it because they don't want Simpson to get hurt. But I think that we can use him a little bit more he's not like Jalen Hurts. He's not a run first person. But I do think sometimes you can use him in situations, to run the ball. When especially when I think he's a little bit guilty of you know, looking down the field, and he should be. But when there's a bunch of open grass, you got to take it. And I think that's something that he hasn't taken advantage of this year. I think there's a couple times where on third down, when we needed yards, instead of running for the first down, he's trying to look downfield, for the bigger play. I think it's always just about getting the first down. I mean, in critical situations, and you know, um, we, but even in the Nick Saban era, we always had one game a year that was the ugly win. Almost every season. The only season that I can think of that really didn't happen was that 2015 team. I think that year that team was just so dominant. But every other year, Nick Saban had one game that was sloppy, but we won. Remember against Ole Miss a few years ago? We got that shootout with them. We played horrible on defense, but the offense did just enough to get us the win. So, you know, I don't think that this is a. I think that's just how it is in college football now. I think teams are going to have a game, one game a year where it's just going to be sloppy. They might win, but it's just going to be sloppy. I think it's just the nature of the game now.
I think that it's hard to get players to equally play hard in every game. Now I think social media plays a bit of a role, but I just think in general, you've got a team like South Carolina that their season's toast, and a win over Alabama would be big, for pride. Alabama's coming off 4 big wins in a row. I mean, psychologically, you're like, okay, well, we just beat 4 ranked teams. We're doing great. And we're playing this garbage under 500 team that, we're significantly better than. It is a mindset problem. I think that if your team is just so much more talented than another team, like if you're just that much better, or you just have a group of guys that are all just committed to just pounding the other team week in and week out. You're on a mission. You're not going to be denied. Then you have the occasional team that wins every game by a ton and wins a national championship. But, that just isn't feasible hardly ever. It's not even likely. There's tons of national championship teams that lost a game to a crazy opponent. I mean, 2014 Ohio State is always brought up, and it always will with Virginia Tech. We lost a lot of stupid games under Nick Saban too, despite him barely ever losing. You mentioned barely beating Ole Miss. We also lost to Ole Miss. So, we lost to teams under Nick Saban that were unthinkable. But I feel like with DeBoer anyway, right now, it's just every game's more scrutinized because he's new and he's trying to build a reputation. If he can win a national championship, like Kirby right now is kind of in that situation where he's won 2 national championships. His team doesn't look as good right now, and he's losing a little bit more, but he's all right because it's Kirby. He's won 2 championships. He's going to figure it out. DeBoer doesn't have that. So, Alabama struggles in a game or Alabama loses a game. It gets thrown around a lot more than Nick Saban when it randomly would happen, because it did. Your team's not going to be perfect anyway. But I see what you're saying. I absolutely. I'm agreeing with you. I just think that circumstances are different now. I think teams, it's harder to get them up for every game the way it was before. Every team's inconsistent now, pretty much. To a varying degree. And like I said, especially in DeBoer's case, he's just getting heavily scrutinized right now. He's just got to keep winning and to overcome that.
Right. Well, and I got two, things that are going to be positive.
Mm.
Just happened in the last couple weeks. I like Brian Kelly. I think he's a good coach. I just don't think he was a good fit at LSU. Um, Florida Billy Napier. I like the guy. I hated that went, it went that way for him. But there's positives for Alabama because of recruiting. I think we're going to get some guys that we might not have gotten before. We might, recruiting. We might be able to get some guys that may be committed to one of those programs. So it might help Alabama in that aspect. But it all depends on who they hire to get. So they might be able to win some of them players back if that coach indeed wants that player. So, um, so I think we're on the right track. I think no matter what Kalen DeBoer does, there's going to be some people that criticize him. I mean, if I mean, people are going to criticize him even if he wins a national championship. And there's just some people out there that are just going to criticize no matter what. And so, he's done better, a lot better than I would have thought he would have done. Even when he was hired, just because of Nick Saban. I mean, it's a miracle that we've had as many people as players stay as we have at Alabama and not transfer elsewhere. After Nick Saban left. So we're if you look at that roster, I mean, a lot of them guys in that locker room were recruited by Saban. So um, we just gotta do you know the thing that I like about DeBoer is I think he's more as time goes on, I think he's more and more invested into the team and into the Alabama brand. Because you would see when he first got there, he wasn't very emotional, not very enthusiastic. And now you're seeing him come on the field and being hyped up before the games and things like that. So I think this whole Alabama experience is really growing on DeBoer. And I think he's getting to experience what it's like to win at Alabama and to be a part of that, that culture of winning at Alabama. So um, in my book, he's doing A+ job at this point. I mean, I done a lot better than what I thought I would have done when he first got hired. So I'm happy with him.
Well, there you go, man. Well, we'll get to our next caller a little bit as soon as he gets back on his couch. But oh man,
One more question: how much do y'all guys pay attention to Alabama basketball? Are y'all basketball fans or not really?
I
well,
watch basketball a lot, so I pay attention to it pretty decently.
I talked a little bit.
Go ahead, Jackson.
I talked a little bit about it with Jimmy Stein and Luke Robinson on Tuesday on Primetime Live. So
Yeah, them guys are great. I listen to them every day. Yeah, Jimmy, he's a big basketball guy too, and so I think this is a year for Nate Oates. It could be, this could be the year. I mean, I said that last year, but
Auburn
um,
sucks now again. Thank God for that.
so I'm excited about. I mean, I get just as excited for basketball as I do football. So but I grew up a Duke fan. I'm a Coach K, guy. I watched that. I watched my first um, college tournament fully through in 2004, and he won that year. Y'all were probably just little kids, probably just in diapers at that time, but
I
uh,
was.
and so I remember watching that as a little kid and growing up, and so I've always been a Duke fan, but I've always liked Alabama. So always been, but then I really got involved in watching it when when Avery got hired, when I really started paying attention to Alabama basketball. So, and then when Oates came along, he's just I like him. So, I'm excited to see what the basketball team can do this year.
Yeah, I watch a lot of Carolina basketball because I live in North Carolina. So I actually grew up a North Carolina basketball fan. I still am a fan to this day. But I do watch Alabama basketball. Definitely a lot less than football, but I've been watching them more since kind of went around when you said the Avery Johnson, like the Colin Sexton year. That era. So, from then on I've watched them a lot more, but
And I hated it so bad that it didn't work out for Avery. I liked him as a coach, and give him credit. He got Kyra Lewis. I mean, he was that was the first major Alabama, and I believe he recruited Colin Sexton too. Um, um, those were the two guys that really, really, set, gave, they were the players that gave the Alabama brand as far as basketball, kind of a spotlight. So I just hated that it didn't work out for him. But it got to the point where I couldn't defend him anymore. As much as I liked him, and we got fired. I hated it for him, but I understood.
There we go.
So,
Well,
y'all have a good night.
We'll let you off, and we'll definitely be seeing you soon next week, and we'll be getting to our next caller.
Yeah, we appreciate it, Hunter. Hope you have a great night. Roll Tide, roll.
Roll Tide,
Tide,
roll.
man.
Stay safe, stay warm. It's cold out. Oh crap! I come out before he left. Oh, dang it. Yeah, we'll see him next Thursday. That's for sure. And we've got our next caller, Thunder Redmond, on the line. How you doing tonight, good buddy? Oh, he's watching Dolphins Ravens, isn't he? Well, we'll put you in the back room. Yeah, you're on, man.
What's up?
How you doing tonight, good buddy?
Good.
Oh man, what's on your mind tonight on Alabama?
What? Are y'all gonna make the playoffs?
Oh yeah, Alabama's gonna make playoffs. No
Yeah,
doubt.
I mean we're definitely in good shape for the playoffs. We can't lose 2 games or more. Like we have to. If we lose one more game, we'll be fine. Or if we go undefeated the rest of the way, we'll be fine. So I would say yes.
What happened last year? What happened last year?
Last season we lost 2 crappy teams. we can't do that this year.
Yeah.
Well, we lost to Michigan, Oklahoma, Vanderbilt, and Tennessee, but
Tennessee's the only excusable one, man.
yeah,
but the other ones. I would have rather have lost to Tennessee and Georgia last year than to Vandy and Oklahoma. Like, I'm sorry, but you cannot lose to teams like that. Like, losing one of them, okay, but the Oklahoma game was the one that irritated me. That was just terrible.
Yeah.
Well, what you got in your mind tonight, man?
Oh, about the coaches taking it fired, the last thing right. That's gonna be the new norm for college football.
Oh, that's been the norm for quite a while.
Yeah, I agree with Jackson. I mean, it's as long as NIL and all this stuff's running rampant, they're gonna keep getting fired fast.
So most times, they normally, but in the past, they normally will wait until the season. But now now they're doing it in the middle of the season, which was kind of strange. That they're not going to just let the coach just finish his season.
Yeah, I mean, I think that firing coaches in the middle of the season mostly is a bad move. I do, but I mean, other people can have a different.
It depends on how bad the situation is. Like,
the next coach is Jonathan Smith.
Jonathan.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's gonna be gone either after this season or he's going to be gone by October of next
If
season.
they fire him this season or after this season, then I mean Michigan
They
State
talk
is just
about
joining
they
all the
talking
other
about
schools of
uh,
firing coaches too quickly.
uh, they talking about they lose to the Gophers. He, he done after that. He might get fired as soon as he loses to the other Gophers. I don't think that he built for the Big Ten, but
I mean, they're an underdog against Minnesota, so I mean, most likely they will lose. But
three
again, I
points,
mean, they hired him, so it's
three
like,
points,
yeah.
3 points.
I just think firing a coach after hiring him at the second season is just dumb because you gave that dude a big contract. You thought he was you fit for your program. Then you fire him after 2 years,
Yeah,
and then you
but
just
they
get in a cycle
hire
of
a
continuing to
Pac-12.
fire coaches.
They hire a Pac-12 coach. And most of those coaches, they really don't understand the stand that there will be some games where you might be able to score in the 30s and the 40s, the 40s, but when you are coaching in the SEC or the Big Ten, you won't be doing that every single weekend because Jonathan Smith, he coached in the Big 12 before he went to East Melanson, and the Big 12 is mostly shootouts, and that's not what the Big Ten conference is based on. They based on they based on running backs. They trying out the other team, but the defense and they based on a rugged style. But just like Joe Clapper used to say, the Michigan, you have to play a fist fight. If you can't handle the fist fight, there's no way you're gonna they can't, and I don't think he understands the rivalry, the rivalry, the Paul Bunyan trophy, but because he's 5-0 in Big Ten Conference this year.
Well, we'll definitely wait and see what happens with Jonathan Smith. I mean, I hope for
Who will
his
be
sake.
the next coach? Who will be the next coach?
Oh, who's Michigan State's next head coach?
It
Good
might
question.
be a coach that used to be a player there. That's what they do need to fix their program.
Oh, who knows? Like for Michigan State, because they are nowhere near where they were in the D'Antonio era. But I got a feeling Michigan's pretty happy about that, as well as they should be. Michigan State, I don't know who's getting
The first
who's
year,
going there.
that's all they said when he first got hired. Then all the season, they back to the 2015 days. But the record don't the record says otherwise. Now Brian Hartline, they talk about he might go to the Penn State, but I don't think he should be because he 'cause he graduated from Ohio State and he was a former wide receiver there.
Well,
So why would a former student would coach at a rival team? I don't think why would they do that?
money or basically to be a head, just to say I'm a head coach.
Money's always the
He did
answer.
say that he wanted to be a head coach, but I don't think he want to wait uh, until. I do think he wants to be a head coach at Ohio State, but the more the more trophies that Ryan Day is going to win, the chances are hotline to be a head coach for the Buckeyes. The chances it's going to get slimmer and slimmer. The only way he'll be a head coach at the Buckeyes if he, if he, if he keep losing to Michigan, but
Well, we'll wait and see, but
yeah.
Ryan Day seems to be pretty happy in Columbus right now.
They tried to
Although,
get Matt. They tried to get Matt the ruler because he was a former player, and he told them that I'm good. I'm good. 2 hours later, he signed a massive contract to stay at the stay at Lincoln to stay at Lincoln, Nebraska.
I couldn't hear the last part you were saying. Is your mic okay?
Yeah, okay, Matt Rule, they offered him a head coaching job, the school that he used to play the football at, and he turned down the deal. The 2 hours later, the 2 hours later, Nebraska they offer him the same contract and with the same pay, and he chose to stay at his current job.
Yeah, like we did talk about a little bit earlier tonight with Rule getting that contract extension with Nebraska. And Jeffrey put it best that it wasn't a we want you here because we're happy with you. It's a we want you to stay because we don't want you to leave for Penn State type
Uh,
move.
yeah.
Well, the Ravens smacked the Dolphins tonight.
Yeah, finally they winning games, but I
Not
still think
surprised
it's too
so
late
far.
for them to make the playoffs.
Never
It's
say
not too
never.
late yet, but they gotta
The host a home game, the host a home game. It might be too late.
Yeah, but
definitely.
home field advantage doesn't feel like everything in the NFL because
They definitely can still make the playoffs if they play
yeah,
well.
Yeah.
but I think we'll wait and see what happens for the Ravens Dolphins. But
Who going to the end the SEC national title drought because it's going on 2 whole seasons since Georgia won it back to back. Who going to end that drought?
oh man, well, I think it could be Bama.
Um, it it's not Bama. Who could? No. Okay. Now who could be the other two teams? If Bama,
Mm.
they can't do it.
Well, let's see.
Maybe Kirby. Maybe Kirby. He go back to the 21 and 22 days.
I mean, we could see Georgia do that, but I'm just not seeing it as long as they have Mike Bobo as their offensive coordinator.
Agreed.
It's just not happening.
They're gonna need to find another Stetson Bennett type quarterback.
Yeah, or just get a new offensive coordinator.
They need a
Um.
better team all around.
Oh yeah. Texas A&M could be one of the two other SEC teams, not named
What
Bama.
about what about the Longhorns?
They gotta
Definitely
get
not.
through Vandy first.
Yeah,
Kind of feel like Vandy could try to get it. Honestly, I mean, I don't know why, but they've done the impossible this season. I feel like they could win a couple playoff games if they were in the playoffs.
maybe Lane can't fit, but
Yeah, Ole Miss would be a good one.
that Florida story with Jeffrey, you said that if he didn't have say that problem. If he didn't have that problem, he still would have. They still would have. he still they still would have had found a way to get him to come back to Ohio State. They still would have had found a way to get him to come back, regardless of the incident didn't happen or regardless if that the incident didn't happen at Florida, they still would have found a way to get him the coach there regardless of the incident.
Are you talking about Urban Meyer?
Mhm. Because they hired him at the after that season where they lost to uh to Michigan State to Michigan State to Michigan and Penn State very bad and very bad, and this was 2011 season. Then 1 year later they hired him. So
Do you agree with that, Jackson?
I could see that.
Yeah.
there's rumors that they trying. There's rumors that he had some type of secret phone call with one of the Penn State the board members, and they trying to get him to come out of retirement for one more time.
Nah,
No,
I wouldn't want. If I'm Urban, I am staying my butt.
Urban Meyer should stay retired, and
Yeah,
he
so should
make he making a buttload of, of money to be on big noon kickoff every
oh,
Saturday. So
yeah. How are you feeling about bid noon kickoff this season? I haven't watched a
talking about
whole
with
lot of it.
Portnoy and all that.
Yeah, like what do you think about it, Tim?
I thought it was cool at first, but I feel I feel like at first I thought it was gonna be his whole crew there, but it just him. And some people they know they but they some people but they don't like him because of the stuff that he says about their team. But at one point, they wanted the ban him from the horseshoe, but that's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah,
Why would they want to ban him? His team won the past 4 years, and he has the right the right to say that this is what y'all need to do. But this is how y'all need to end your losing streak.
hmm. This is good grief. Oh man. Well, Timothy, what you got going on this week, good buddy?
Uh, 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 I I will be going live tomorrow, and in the evening time, probably about 5 o'clock.
Oh, there you go. You're making some magic all over. So y'all go check out Timothy Redmond as he gets closer and closer to 500 subs, ladies and gentlemen.
Hmm.
All right, man. Here we go. Back to where we had it. There we go. All right, man. We'll be seeing you later, and you stay safe, stay warm. It's cold out, man.
So what number would they fall to if Penn State they get the upset? Now what number would they will they be 11 or barely outside the top 10 that they lose?
Nah, they'll still be in top 10.
Uh,
So that's just the way I look at it. But all right, man. But Buckeyes will definitely scorch Penn State, so that's for sure.
yeah.
But all right, man. We'll be seeing you soon, and you stay safe, stay warm. It's cold out, and we'll be seeing you
Yeah.
next week.
It's warm down there though.
I know it, man. It's warm down in Bama, but we got a cold front here tonight.
Yeah. But Jeffrey, he lives in Alabama too.
Nah, he's in North Carolina, man.
Oh,
But all right, man. We'll be seeing you soon, man.
okay.
See you next week. All righty. And of course, man. So we've got the call in link all right here on Alabama The Voice College Football. For those who want to call in, call in link is in the description. But we're going to sign off here in a little bit. But before we go, we've got the YouTube membership tiers of Alabama at The Voice College Football. Here we go. And we're going to put them here all in the chat. For $2.99 a month, you can become a Crimson Faithful member, where you'll have a loyalty badge next to your name in the comments and in the live chat, custom emojis to use in the comments, live chat, and member shoutouts, all right here on Alabama at The Voice College Football, especially when our good buddy, Godfather of the SEC, is in the chat, because he's one of our YouTube members, man. We appreciate him for putting in that $4.99 super chat tonight. We appreciate it very much, and all the work that he's doing in the chat. He's making magic all over the place. And for $4.99 a month, you can become a Saban disciple, where you'll have priority replies to comments and access to a monthly hangout from yours truly, Jackson Johnson, Jeffrey Only Talk Sports, and Trevion Ware. You'll be seeing him Monday night with Jeffrey, myself, and our guest from LSU at The Voice College Football and Last Word on College Football, Lewis Johnson, for LSU Week, Monday night, 6 p.m. Central Time. And for $9.99 a month, you can become a Bear Bryant legend, where you can connect on social media with each of us and give out content requests of any kind. And neither rain nor sleet nor snow nor this miserable Bama weather that doesn't know what it is will put a stop to us from fulfilling your content request, all right here on Alabama Voice College Football. And before we sign off for the night, just kind of get ready for Friday, Halloween night. Who knows? Great pumpkin could be arising. Who knows? But we've got magic coming your way for the month of November. It's all right there on Alabama with the Voice College Football, where you like, comment, subscribe, click on the notification bell so you never miss no video whatsoever. Getting closer and closer to 3,000 subs. And thank you for gaining us closer, as we're now, I believe we're 17 subs close. Yep, 17 subs closer to 3,000 subs. And that is with all of your help. We appreciate it so much. Jeffrey, what have you got going on this week, good buddy?
Me and Will indeed did our predictions earlier this week for the Week 10 college football games. That was a ton of fun. So definitely appreciate it if you guys want to go check that out. I also just released my NFL predictions. So definitely starting off pretty well with a 1-0 start this week with the Ravens getting the win. So that's good there. But we'll see how the rest of the week goes. But if you are interested in the NFL and you want to hear my thoughts on every game, week by week, definitely appreciate it if you go check it out. Also, follow me on X as well. But most importantly, definitely, as Jackson said, we got a lot of surprises at Alabama at the Voice of College Football coming up for you guys. Coming into the month of November, we're getting to the nitty-gritty when it comes to college football. Definitely exciting. Can't wait to talk about bowl games and playoffs, and as things wind down, championship games. It's going to be a ton of fun, but we're almost at 3,000 subs, and who knows, maybe if we reach 3,000 subs, the great pumpkin will appear.
There we go, man. And that's why you tune in to Only Talk Sports, where he talks sports every single day, or at least he tries to. All right there. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss more of the magic that Jeffrey has coming. All right here on Alabama The Voice College Football. And of course, you can check out my latest 2 episodes of the Jacksonia, where I released one earlier tonight with Tucker Harlan, our very own at Tennessee at the Voice College Football, and Balls Wire, where we talked a little bit about the Volunteers, had a venting session about the Titans, talked a little bit about Tennessee baseball even. And episode before that, I had on Eric Cooper from Unfair Sports, where we talked a little bit about the Sooners going up against Tennessee, how they're doing this season, and much, much more. And thank you guys for also helping me get closer to 1,000 subs on my personal channels. I'm 282 away from that magic number 1,000. And I've got more magic coming up on the way there. And for more updates, what I've got going on, Alabama with the Voice of College Football, the Jacksonian, once a week, twice a week calls on the Paul Feinbaum Show, and on Mountaineer Paul for Jackson's World of College Football for Locked On West Virginia. Check me out, JacksonVOCFB on X/Twitter and on Instagram. That's JacksonJohns543-908. And with that being said, we wish y'all a happy Thursday night and a happy Halloween. And to stay
Happy
safe,
Halloween for everybody. Hopefully it's a great day tomorrow for everybody.
there you go. So get yourself some candy because it's going to be awesome. And with that, we wish y'all a happy Thursday night and a happy rest of your weekend. Stay safe, stay warm. It's cold out. Like, comment, subscribe, click on the notification bell so you never miss no video whatsoever. We'll see you soon and roll
Tide.